All right, this is the first video in the relationship series. This one is specifically about the relationship with yourself. So, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship you can ever have. And people sometimes like to argue that and say your relationship with God is the most important, with Jesus, with whatever higher being, power, whatever that you believe. And I just, for the sake of this, that's the same thing. Okay? The relationship that you have with yourself is the relationship that you have with God, Jesus, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So, there are many, many people in this world who do not recognize their own divinity. They don't recognize their worth. They don't recognize their strength, their power, their existence as anything more than just, I'm here, you know? And it really does us and everyone around us a disservice when that is our mind frame about ourselves, because it truly is the foundation for all the other relationships in your life. You cannot have a successful, truly successful, longly successful relationship with anyone else if you cannot have that same relationship, and even better, with yourself. So, self-love is on a positive note, it's like a trending topic. So everybody's all like self-love, blah blah blah, which is great and awesome. Now, there's also a shadow to every light, okay? And the shadow part of the self-love movement is it's rooted in ego, okay? It's kind of rooted in a place that is not pure. That is not that the ego isn't pure, but the ego is purely out for itself, if that makes sense. The self-love that is necessary to cultivate in our lives comes from the love of everything. There's a quote, I don't know who it's by. If you know who it's by, please comment below, because I completely forgot. But there's a quote that says, so how are we supposed to treat others? There are no others. There's just not. And once you really get down to the foundation and realness of that, you can understand why the relationship with yourself is so insanely important. Now, this is going to be like a part 1 video. I'm just kind of giving you the reasons why you should love yourself, and then this next video that I do at a later time is kind of some steps to help you learn how to love yourself, because I just made a video about this in my mom guilt video, so if you haven't seen that, check it out. Whether you're a parent or not, it applies to everyone, honestly. And you just like practice creates the master. Seriously, I'm gonna pound it in your head. And that's from the book Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry. But practice creates the master. We've practiced not loving ourselves. We've practiced beating ourselves up. We've practiced self-hate, self-defeat, self-betrayal, self-disassociation. Like, we've practiced it and we've become masters at it. Look at us go. We are so good at it. Not always the greatest thing. So, what we just have to know is that if you want to live a better life, if you are unhappy, like deep in the core of yourself, there's like an itch of like, I'm just unhappy. I'm not satisfied. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Sometimes we like to pinpoint it to traumas. Sometimes we like to pinpoint it to events that happened. Sometimes we like to just pinpoint it to our mental health and state and physical health and state and environmental things and all of those are simply byproducts of the lack that we have practiced of love for ourselves. We have practiced unloving ourselves. When a baby is born, that baby does not come out hating himself, thinking, oh, I was supposed to come out a fatter baby, I was supposed to come out a skinnier baby, I was supposed to come out lighter, darker, purple or orange, or my hair was supposed to be longer, I was supposed to have hair, I wasn't supposed to have hair. Like, no, babies don't do that. And I know that sounds like maybe a silly comparison because they're babies, but you have to know, babies are the closest thing to source, to God, to the beginning, to creation in its most pure form that there is. Babies of all species, not just humans. They are the closest thing that has just recently touched the infinite. Now, I believe, and I will explain maybe in another video my reasons for believing it, but this is all infinite. It's all... Once you shift out of collective societal mind frames and things that we've been practicing and things that we've been accustomed to, once you get out of those mind frames, you realize that you can truly see life with the mind of a baby. And maybe not the mind of a baby. I don't know what the hell a baby thinks. But I'm saying with the mind of infiniteness. With the mind of, I just touched source. I just came from the creator. Or, whatever. It doesn't matter what you think that is. Or isn't. Or whatever. But loving yourself is seriously the most life-altering, life-changing, and life-empowering thing that you could ever do for yourself. And there's a lot of ways that you can go about practicing loving yourself again. Babies love themselves. They come out loving life, enjoying who they are. They love everything around them. If a baby came out and the scariest, most terrifying, most monstrous thing in the world came up to them, that baby wouldn't really, like, have any hatred towards it. Like, if it just came, like, it's a different thing if you beat the baby previously and now that baby has recognition of this, happening. But I'm saying, like, a purely just slate clean baby, and you come with just the most evilish thing in the world to that baby is still gonna love. Does that make sense? I'm not the greatest at explaining things. It's been pointed out to me several times. However, it's also been pointed out to me that the way that I communicate with my hands, with my facial gestures, with my voice and my tone and this and that is the perfect way to get my point across. So I'm just going to continue to do that. And you can see around it. But anyway, you might already know the good things and the wonderful things and the life-changing things that can happen when you love yourself. And if you are struggling, if you are still trying to reprogram your practices, reprogram your mindset, thought patterns, all of that, don't give up. I can't tell you that there's like a final end in sight, because I truly think that you can come to almost a plateau of like, I love myself. But even more beautifully, you go deeper. You go deeper into it. Like, I love myself, but like, I love myself. You know what I mean? You have the potential to be able to do that. And you have to also get out of the mind frame that there's a goal in sight. Like, the goal is to practice loving yourself. Practice is continual. Just because you've reached some plateau where you're like, I love myself, I don't have no ill feelings, nothing towards myself, I love myself, I'm here, I made it, I'm done. Cool, great, but you can go deeper. You can love yourself even deeper, even more. Just like that relationship you have where it's just like, God, I love this. This is so awesome. And then it goes to like the next phase. I don't want to say stage or level, because that gives like a up or down, like a tiered type thing. But a phase is like a flow, a continuous going. Your relationships, I'm sure there's at least one relationship in your life, even if it was with a dog, a car, like some relationship that you've had in your life where you're like, I love this. And then it got even deeper and you're like, I love this. Like, that is what you can do with the love from yourself. So can you imagine all of those relationships you didn't actually truly love, because you didn't actually know how from practice? We innately know how, so you did love. I'm not saying you didn't. But the relationship that you have with yourself and the self-love that you have for yourself brings a deeper, more authentic, and more pure, source-like form of infinite, unconditional love to all the other relationships. So you loved them in a human sense, in a human mind sense, but you didn't love from the deepest, darkest, lightest, most expansive and infinite depths of your soul. Get what I'm saying? So anyway, loving yourself is the foundation for all the other relationships, which is why this needed to be the first video in my mini series of relationship videos. My next one will also be on self-love, and it will be steps for practicing, putting the desire, the drive, the hope, the wanting, the needing into practice, into formidable action steps that you can practice, you can build on. So don't think that there is an ending to loving yourself. You just fall deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Thank you.